Necromancers truly are slow as shit. According to zoologists, their top speeds clock in at just 0.25 kilometers per hour, making them the slowest class in the game by a large margin.
You would think the expansion would bring a new meta, but this man, Lord Saura, doesn't ever let this skill die, and it's the fucking meta once again. But this time it's way different, in the sense that the Blood Wave skill is red instead of being poop discolored. And perhaps even better, we're no longer cosplaying as a goddamn sloth. Instead, we're flying around the map, zip-zippity zooming with our Sever skill, and using our one-button booty-clapping Blood Waves to nuke the entire screen and pushing the highest of leaderboards. And in this one, we'll cover everything you need to start playing Saura's build. But first, where the hell have I been lately? Well, ask your fat-ass wife, will you? Because it's time to get into the details of the build. First being, how does it actually work? Well, we have Blood Wave as our main damage-dealing ability. The expansion completely changed the skill by introducing this magnificent skill node, Hematolagnia. Using this, we remove the cooldown of Blood Wave entirely and turn it into a spammable core skill, meaning the times of collecting blood orbs and solving for cooldown reduction is effectively over. Just grab this instead, and you have yourself a build. On top of that, we're also rocking Overpower Blood Wave, which instantly allows us to benefit from every insanely strong mind you overpower damage bonus in the game. So again, say goodbye to picking up blood balls on the ground to generate overpower charges, because this too happens automatically. Now, when it comes to the other skills, you don't actually have to press them at all. They are merely there to boost us or increase our mobility, so when farming you could theoretically just hold down the Blood Wave button. But sure, they are still useful. I would like to mention, though, that this is indeed the speed variant we'll be focusing on. For the ultra endgame pushing setup, I'll link Saura's pushing variant. The Skelly Warriors are just there to boost us, as they'll be generating blood orbs for us, which will heal us and boost our damage. But don't worry, they'll be automatically picked up from our runes. They'll also eat nearby corpses, boosting our damage further. Next is Blood Mist. This is a dogshit skill, because when blood misting, you ain't fighting, right? Nah, we'll transform this into a teleport skill instead, granting us additional mobility, unstoppable, and movement speed. And lastly, we have Reap as an execute and essence generator early on, while also granting us some additional blood orbs. Alright, so that's the skills. Let's head on over to check the gear now. But first, a quick word from today's sponsor, Paragon. Now, if you're someone who likes staying active and listening to some sick tunes while doing so, or maybe you just enjoy listening to music or podcasts while doing boring shit, then Paragon's bone conduction headphones might be for you. I've been using them every day for the past few weeks now, and that's largely due to 3 reasons. They always stay in place, they have an out-of-ear design, and the sound quality is still excellent. Meaning, I'm able to go on walks or jogs and listen to podcasts while still being aware of my surroundings, so I can avoid being run over by cyclists with a death wish. They also have a substantial battery life, 13 hours to be exact. They're waterproof, dustproof, and extremely affordable. Hell, they're half the price of my previous headphones while offering a lot of added functionality. And by heading on over to buyraycon.com/pergamingbc, you'll get 15% off your order, along with a 30-day happiness guarantee. So make sure to check it out. Yeah, about now. All right, folks, let's have a look at the gear now, shall we? As per usual, you have a mythic variant and a dogshit player version, where the main changes being you'll replace Heir of Perdition for Godslayer's Crown and look for extra resource generation, as you'll have to ditch Starless as well. But other than that, the builds will be identical. And starting us off, we go for Air of Perdition for the whopping 80% damage and its lovely stats. We're then slotting in Igni and Teb, which is how we'll cast our Iron Maiden. And why Iron Maiden? Well, it's going to generate blood orbs, fortify, and it'll execute enemies, making it a lovely supportive skill without having to manually cast it. For tempering, we temper resolve stacks, and the reason for this is Glynn's Anvil. We're going to stack a lot of max life, armor, and resistances, but other than that, this is our main source of defenses. We're gaining 4% damage reduction from each stack of resolve, and we're able to temper resolve stacks onto every defensive slot, resulting in fuckloads of damage reduction. Other than that, start looking for gear with essence generation and resource cost reduction wherever possible, as the Blood Wave skill will be quite expensive. Next, we go for the crushing aspect for some extra damage. After that, we're going to have full uptime on crits and vulnerable, so grab those along with stacking physical damage, as that's the multiplier our Blood Wave will be using. After that, we want a hot pair of pantaloonies, so we grab the Keseme's Legacy, where our main prios are resolve stacks, followed by essence generation and defenses. We'll also slap on the Pock and What Rune combo here, which will allow us to automatically cast Decrepify as well. As sneakers, Aspect of Dominance is how we'll generate and keep up the maximum number of resolve stacks. It won't really work on bosses though, but you'll also generate resolve stacks while hitting enemies afflicted by Decrepify, so we're Gucci. And for stats, again we need loads of essence generation, and then we can start looking into defenses and movement speed. For weapon, we go for the Tidal aspect to boost our overpower stacks, which will benefit greatly from not only from our Banished Lord's talisman, but also from our charms. Yummers. Then for stats, just slap on as many multipliers as you can. Next, we want a shield, because shit actually hurts this expansion. We then slap on the Thickened Blood aspect for a large chunk of damage, we grab some defenses, and sort out our crit chance cap. Alright, and finally, the jewelry. As mentioned, we definitely want the Banished Lord's talisman, so we may get truckloads of damage from overpower stacks. We then want to look for damage multipliers, followed by blood skills and max life, while tempering even more resolve stacks. Yummers. Lastly, and this is important, our main source of resource generation will come from tempering restore primary resource on our rings, so this is a must. Fortunately, Blood Wave has a massive lucky hit chance, so this will trigger a lot. Then, we go for Tides of Blood aspect with a bunch of damage and attack speed, followed by Starless Skies if you have it, for the extra damage, resource cost reduction, and helping us solve crit chance and attack speed. Lovely. Great job, friends. Gear complete. Let's head over to the skill tree now and see what's going on over there. And first out are the basic skills. Here we'll go for Reap. You won't really have to use it, but it can be used for generating corpses, executing enemies, and forming blood orbs, but also as an essence generator before you've solved the resource requirements of the build. Next, we head on over to the core skills, where we grab Sever for its perma-teleporting passive, along with generating some corpses and crowd-controlling enemies, which will in turn generate resolve stacks. In the corpse tree, we have our Skelly Warriors, which we'll use for healing, corpse generation, and vulnerable. But if we go back to the Book of the Dead, they're also going to generate blood orbs for us. The remaining minions we're sacrificing, though, for more overpower damage bonus and crit bonus. Alright, going back to the tree, we have our Boner Prison, which will an extra source of vulnerable, but perhaps more importantly, it will boost our resource generation and attack speed, and it'll generate essence when cast. We then have Blood Mist, which will grant us movement speed. It'll teleport us for more mobility and crowd control for more resolve stacks. Next, we grab Iron Maiden and Decrepify, which will cast via our runes. We have Iron Maiden for its Execute and Fortify generation, its Blood Orb generation, and lastly, its Vulnerable. When it comes to our lovely Decrepify, it'll reduce our cooldowns, it'll heal us, and generate Blood Orbs, along with generating Resolve stacks, which is great when we can't crowd control enemies. Alright, and finally, Blood Wave. This will deal shitloads of damage by being an ultimate. We boost this damage further via damage bonus, and we grab Hematolagnia as to make it spammable and a core skill. Lastly, the Overpower bonus ensures we're always fully stacked on Overpower charges. Next on the agenda, we have the Paragons. So let's check them out right away, shall we? And as per usual, let me just mention that if you do not have all the Paragon points yet, you just focus on grabbing all of the legendary nodes first. These are by far the most important. After that, you can grab the glyphs and all of the maximum life nodes and defensives nodes. And then lastly, you can fill out with as many glyph nodes as possible for more damage. Alright, first out we have the Corporeal glyph for more physical damage. We then go for Blood Begets Blood, which will keep up permanently with ease, seeing as we're generating fuckloads of blood orbs. We then slot in Essence, which grants us a bunch of damage once leveled up. Next, we want the Flesh Eater node, which is easy to keep up, as well as our Skelly warriors will do it automatically. We then slot in Amplify, which will also be up automatically when our runes keep casting curses for us. Next, we go to Scent of Death for damage reduction and crit damage, and slot in Eliminator for the damage bonus and intelligence boosting. And finally, Frailty for damage versus cursed enemies, and Dominate for truckloads of overpower damage. This is one hell of a glyph, and when you have spare nodes, you want to dump them in here for sure. Alright folks, let's see what our trusty mercenary is doing. Subo's still the fucking man. A whole expansion later, he provides us with Aimbot and a whopping 25% damage bonus. And for reinforcement, we go with Ray Hare as per usual for his Bastion. Okay, and lastly, we have the Charms. These are just insanely good. In particular, the Red Blessing Unique. We want this extra damage per overpower stack, basically doubling the effect of the Banished Lord's Talisman. It's just fucking bonkers. And for stats, we go for as many ranks as we can find and some all stats. Now for your seal, your main prio is getting the extra charm slot because we want to pair this with the Bloodbinder 5 set. Because this is just fantastic, and grabbing the 5 set, we're getting an additional 75% damage, on top of all of the damage and max life from the other bonuses, of course. And for stats, blood skills and resistances are the way to go. Alright folks, if you've stuck it out this long, you deserve some kind of reward. And your reward this time being how to actually play the build. So let's get going, and I'll teach you bunch of fucking idiots how to play. When farming, it's just insanely easy. You just zippity through the content with your Sever and Blood Mist. Once you find some enemies to kill, you drop down your booty-clapping blood waves on them and they'll die. If they don't die, then you're free to use your Bone Prison for attack speed and essence generation, or if you prefer to use Corpse Tendrils, then you can use that. And if you need to execute them, then you can use Reap. But mainly, you'll just be zooming around and one-tapping enemies with Blood Wave. For pushing, you'll generally want to swap out Sever for Corpse Tendrils as to gather up enemies. But other than that, the build plays similar to the speed version. If you really want to maximize your pushing capabilities though, then I recommend going to Saura's channel for the details. And with that, we're done with this shit. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.